Here is the full, true story of the revelation on land, a tale of fire, iron, and a frenzy that reshaped the world, beginning with George Stephenson's rocket. The revelation on land, the railway revolution. The story of the railway is not merely one of technological invention, but of a fundamental revelation that redefined humanity's relationship with distance, time, and the very land itself. While rails and wagons had existed for centuries in primitive forms, often horse-drawn, the true revelation was the marriage of the high-pressure steam engine to a dedicated track. This union promised to annihilate the old constraints of geography and muscle power. The proving ground, Stephenson's rocket, 1829. By the late 1820s, the potential of steam locomotion was understood in theory, but not yet proven in practice. The Liverpool and Manchester Railway, the world's first intercity railway built to rely entirely on steam power, was nearing completion. Its directors, however, were uncertain about the best method of propulsion. To settle the debate, they organized a public competition, the Rainhill Trials, held in October 1829. The rules were strict. The locomotive had to weigh under 6 tons, maintain a minimum speed of 10 meters per hour, and pull a load 3 times its own weight over a distance of 70 miles. The prize was $500 and the coveted contract. Into this arena stepped George Stephenson, a largely self-taught engineer from a poor Northumberland background, with his son Robert, and a new machine, the rocket. The rocket was not a collection of isolated inventions, but a brilliant synthesis of emerging technologies into a superior whole. The multi-tubular boiler, this was its masterstroke. Instead of a single flue, Stephenson used 25 copper tubes to carry hot fire gases through the water, dramatically increasing the heating surface and steam production. This gave the rocket far more power than its rivals. The separate firebox. The firebox was mounted at the rear, separated from the boiler but integrated with it, ensuring a more efficient and controlled burn. Forced draft. Exhaust steam was blasted up the chimney, creating a vacuum that drew a strong air current through the fire, making it burn hotter and brighter. Direct drive to the wheels. The 2 large driving wheels were directly powered by pistons set at a 35-degree angle, a design that provided stability and effective power transfer. At Rainhill, the rocket was a sensation. While its competitors broke down or failed to meet the requirements, the rocket chugged steadily up and down the track, reaching the then unthinkable speed of 30 miles per hour without a load. It proved itself reliable, powerful, and efficient. The rocket's victory was the revelation the world was waiting for. It was the conclusive proof that steam locomotives were not just a novelty, but a practical, superior form of transport. The Liverpool and Manchester Railway opened in 1830 to great fanfare and tragedy, with the first railway casualty, William Huskisson, and its success, powered by Stephenson's engines, ignited a global spark. The frenzy, railway mania. Sixos, 1840-1850. The success of the Liverpool and Manchester line revealed something else. The railway was a financial goldmine. It could move goods and people faster and cheaper than any canal barge or stagecoach. This triggered an explosion of speculative investment known as railway mania. In Britain, the mania reached its peak between 1845 and 1847. It was a period of pure, unadulterated frenzy. A speculative bubble. Anyone with capital, from wealthy industrialists to maidservants with life savings, rushed to invest. Parliament was inundated with railway bills. In 1846 alone, 272 Acts of Parliament were passed, authorising 9,500 miles of new railway. Navvies, a new breed of labourer, the navigator or navvy, emerged. These were the titans who physically carved the revelation into the landscape. With picks, shovels and gunpowder, they dug cuttings, raised embankments and blasted tunnels through hills, transforming the British countryside at an astonishing, often brutal pace. The Gauge War. A bitter conflict erupted between George Stephenson's standard gauge, 4FD812 in, and Isambard Kingdom Brunel's broader broad gauge, 7 FT14 which he used for his Great Western Railway. This incompatibility was a major hindrance until standard gauge eventually prevailed. The crash, as with all speculative bubbles, it couldn't last. By 1849, the mania had collapsed. Many companies failed, countless investors were ruined, and over 6,000 miles of proposed railway were never built. Yet from the chaos emerged a functional, comprehensive national network. The phenomenon was not confined to Britain. The same frenzy spread across Europe and America, United States. With its vast distances, the railway was even more transformative. The 1850s were America's great railroad boom. Land grants from the government fueled a race to the west, culminating in the 1869 completion of the first transcontinental railroad, physically and symbolically stitching the nation together. Europe. Belgium created the first state-planned railway network. France and Germany saw railways as vital tools for national unification and military mobilization, driving their industrial revolutions forward. The revelation of the railway left nothing unchanged. The conquest of time and space. The railway created standardized railway time, replacing a patchwork of local sun times and forcing the adoption of time zones. It shrunk the world. A journey that took days now took hours. The economic engine, it created a truly national market for goods. Fresh produce, fish and milk could be transported from the countryside to the growing industrial cities. Heavy raw materials like coal and iron could be moved in unprecedented volumes, fueling further industrialization. The social revolution. It enabled mass mobility. People could travel for work, for leisure, and to emigrate. It spawned the rise of suburbs, the seaside holiday, and the commuter. The military tool. Railways became the backbone of military logistics, allowing for the rapid movement of troops and supplies, a factor that would decisively shape wars from the American Civil War onwards. The true story of the railway is one of a chain reaction. George Stephenson's rocket provided the crucial public proof of concept, the revelation that steam on rails was the future. This proof ignited the railway mania, a period of chaotic, often reckless, but undeniably forceful energy that physically wove the iron web of tracks across nations. The final result was not just a new mode of transport, but a fundamental reshaping of human society, economics, and perception, whose echoes are still felt in the rhythm of our modern world. The land itself had been revealed as a platform for speed, and humanity would never move slowly again.